So as you all know, this is a disease of beaches which carrying the multiple fetus, and due to excessive drainage of energy, the animals suffer from this particular disease. Okay, this particular disease has several names, that is called synonyms of the disease. First one is called puerperal hypocalcemia. Second one is called periparturient hypocalcemia. Third one is called puerperal tetany. So, based upon the actual cause of this disease, these synonyms has been coined. So, if you are aware of the etiology of this particular disorder, you must be able to remember the synonyms of the disease, and there should be no any extra effort required to remember the synonyms. So, puerperal hypocalcemia, periparturient hypocalcemia, puerperal tetany are the synonyms of this particular disease. As far as the definition of this disease is concerned, this is very important because now the veterinary profession is shifting from large animal treatment to the small animal, especially canines, and this is very, very important disease which we will encounter frequently. So, eclampsia is a metabolic disease of lactating oblique pregnant bitches, clinically characterized by sudden onset of weakness, tremors, collapse, or seizure that is caused by low calcium in the blood, that means hypocalcemia. This is the absolute deficiency of calcium. There is no relative deficiency. So you should remember, in case of eclampsia, there will be absolute deficiency of calcium. That means there will be less availability of calcium in the plasma as well as in body food. So this is the important point to be noted and keep in mind. This is acute life-threatening condition that usually occurs 2 to 4 weeks after whelping, and a small beaches used to suffer more oftenly. And what about the pathophysiology, or you can say that the pathogenesis? Pathogenesis must be known to everyone to understand this particular disease very carefully or very well. Okay, so this involve in release of acetylcholine during neuromuscular transmission. This means calcium is involved for the release of acetylcholine during neuromuscular transmission. Muscles contraction stabilizes nerve cell membrane by the decreasing permeability of sodium. So this will happen in terms of calcium. Okay. During hypocalcemia, nervous system becomes more excitable due to increased neural permeability, and then nerve fiber discharges spontaneously, initiating impulses to skeletal muscles. Hereby, they elicit catalytic contraction. What will happen if there will be continuous electrical discharge from the neuromuscular junction? There will be continuous contraction of the skeletal muscles, and it will be evident as tetanic contraction. So this is very clear. If there will be normal calcium level, there will be low sodium permeability of nerve cell or cell membrane, and it will not lead to the development of more and more electrical impulse later. And if the hypocalcemic situation arises, it will not control the sodium permeability, and permeability through the nerve cell membrane increases, which renders the skeletal muscles to contract more frequently and strongly, resulting into the tetanic contraction. This is about all about the pathogenesis of hypocalcemic tetany or eclampsia in wheelchair. Now come to clinical findings or clinical signs. So most oftenly you will find the in very beginning panting and restlessness. So panting and restlessness is the initial clinical manifestation, followed by tremors, twitching of skeletal muscles, tetany of the muscle, and severe muscular spasm. And if these symptoms will, will be present, what will happen? There will be change in gait because of a contraction of muscles associated with the movement. There will be stiffness of the limb muscle, and animal will not be able to move properly, and the locomotion or movement will be ataxic in nature. That's why here we have mentioned gait change. Gait will be stiff and ataxic, and results from the neuromuscular excitability. Why this kind of situation arises? This is due to the increased neuromuscular excitability due to deficiency of calcium and increased the permeability of sodium ion nerve cell membrane. And due to excessive muscular contraction, what happens? Everybody is knowing about this. Hyperthermia may occur. Why? To produce the whenever there is a requirement of heat in the body, what will happen? There is a shivering mechanism. That is also a kind of muscle contraction. And in the same manner, here, due to increased muscular tissue contraction, uh, heat may be generated in the body. Symptoms may aggravate to clonic or tonic muscle spasm, fever, tachycardia, meiosis, seizure, and even ultimately death of the animal may ensue in this particular disease. Diagnosis is very much
सर हेलो सर
बोलो
सर ये टेकिकार्डिया क्यों हो जाता है कैल्शियम का कंसंट्रेशन कम है तो टेकिकार्डिया क्यों हो जाता है
टैकीकार्डिया इसीलिए हो जाता है कि कैल्शियम का कंसंट्रेशन कम हो जाने से अ, ऐसा नहीं कि सडनली मस्कुलर कॉन्ट्रैक्शन घट जाएगा आपका इसमें हार्ट का जो कुछ अपना reserve cardiac reserve mechanism come into the play that will increase the influx of iron into the cardiac muscle. समझ गए? उसके चलते कार्डियक रिदम को इंक्रीज कर देता है. पढ़े होगे तुम लोग, एक मैकेनिज्म है फार्माकोलॉजी में बताया गया होगा. I'll tell you later. Okay, let me remind. The mechanism is there.
ओके सर
Okay, I'll tell you just after completion of this class. So, diagnosis is based upon the history of the cases. That means if the animal is suffering from the animal is having multiple fetus, or it has been feeding the large number of pups, and clinical manifestation which has been mentioned in the clinical science is coming out. So you may suspect that this is a disease of this disease may be eclampsia or hypocalcemia. So history is very important, and unless you will find the detailed history from the author, you will not be able to tell what kind of disease. Okay. Next one is clinical science. You correlate with the clinical science from the history, then you may come to the conclusion that this is a particular eclampsia or hypertension. And apart from these, if you are not able to convince him on the basis of history and clinical science, the estimation of serum or calcium level may be there. And if the level is less than 7 milligram per deciliter, you can say that the individual is suffering from hypocalcemia. Okay, so by each way we can distinguish or we can say that we can diagnose the case of cancer. Next one is the treatment. Treatment is very much important because of increasing importance of beaches. Due to you must be aware about the beaches, which is producing large number of pubs, and pubs is being sold at high rate, especially in the metros and cities where the practice of keeping pet in a house is becoming very popular. So this is a big business now in the city. So people are paying much and much for saving of animals, especially the pigeons, those who are given to birth to them once. So, in case of hypocalcemia and eclampsia, there should be IV administration of 10% calcium component at the dose rate of 0.5 to 1.5 ml per kg soil. Or if you will convert it into the milligram, you may be at the dose rate of 5 to 15 milligram per kg. And this should result into the rapid recovery within 15 minutes. If really the animal is suffering from the hypocalcemia. And for maintenance, vitamin D supplementation is required in diet for proper absorption of calcium from the gut. Okay. Vitamin D2 at the dose rate of 4 to 6,000 international units per kg daily is required. And even dihydrocolecalciferol, and it is also called a tachystrol. So it is a calcium concentrate at the dose rate of 1 per kg per day. Either you give the dihydrocolecalciferol or vitamin D2 or vitamin D. All form is not required to be given. Either of them can be given. During administration of calcium, heart rate should be carefully monitored for tachycardia or arrhythmia by auscultation. So this is all about the eclampsia in beaches. Next, this is the brand disease. Is it visible to you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Osteodystrophy fibrosa. So this is also a very important disease of the small ruminant, especially goat and sheep. So there are several synonyms of this disease. It also mentioned here in the slide. It may be called as a Brand disease, big head disease, Miller's disease. So why it is called big head disease, Brand disease, or Miller's? I think it has been explained in previous class. Then I am explaining the things. Because of excessive consumption of bran, the leads to the hyperphosphatemia in the animal, those who are regularly consuming the bran. Okay. Told that. What will happen? There will be imbalance of calcium and phosphorus. Due to hyperphosphatemia, there will be less absorption of calcium from the gut, and there will be excessive mobilization of calcium from the bone, and bone becomes rubbery in nature, and due to fibrosis of the bone, the size of bone appears to be decreased, and the animal appears, uh, head of the animal appears larger than the normal size. That's what they are. Grant disease due to excessive consumption of bran. And Miller's disease. Miller's means those who are engaged in milling business, having adequate quantity of bran in their house, and they fed them their animal with excessive bran. That's why it has been called as the Miller's disease. Okay. Principal cause of dystrophies are deficiency or imbalance of calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin. Deficiency may be absolute or relative. If there will be absolute deficiency, then there is no other parameter required to be studied. And if there is just other parameter is also involved in the genesis, then it is called as relative deficiency. As you all know, everything known to all of you, vitamin D is responsible for the absorption of calcium and phosphorus. And if there will be deficiency of vitamin D, this calcium and phosphorus will go down. PTH secreted in response to low calcium. Parathyroid hormone is responsible for the maintenance of normal calcium of blood, normal level of calcium in blood, and if there will be deficiency of vitamin D, PTH will not be able to normalize the level of calcium in blood. It mostly occurs in horse, goat, and swine. Occurs due to secondary calcium deficiency in presence of high phosphorus diet. There should be normal ratio of calcium and phosphorus, and in case of this particular disease, what happens, the calcium phosphorus ratio is about 1:2.9 or more, which favors the development of this. Cereals and its hay or bran feeding produces. That's why name has been given bran. Legumes hay are preventive as it contains calcium. So rather than feeding cereals hay, we should feed the animal. We should try to feed the animal with legume in case of susceptibility of osteodystrophy. So pathogenesis is very much clear, so there is no need to explain further. And I think this is self-explanatory. Everybody might be able to understand the things. Okay, so I'm not going to explain in detail. And clinical findings, as far as the clinical finding is concerned, so most prominent feature of this particular initial illness, the long bones of the limb will be affected, arching back with the vertebrae affected, facial swelling. This is a very important for the facial swelling. On the basis of facial bone swelling, the name has been one big head disease or osteodystrophic fibrosis. Anorexia, strain of tendons, fractures, swelling of alveolar margin of mandible, soft symmetrical enlargement of facial bones, flattening of ribs, anemia, and financing. So these are the important clinical manifestations which we need to as far as diagnosis and treatment is concerned, it is very well depicted here. There will be increase in phosphorus and alkaline phosphatase here. Due to excessive consumption of bran or cereals, there will be increase in phosphorus and it will lead to the decreased absorption or mobilization of calcium from the bone to the blood, which causes the hypocalcemia. And moth-eaten appearance of the bones of mandible, especially in Nigeria. You will find the moth-eaten appearance of bones and radiography, or you can see the translucent radiography. Okay. So this is you'll find the moth-eaten appearance and treatment. In treatment, first of all, we need to correct the imbalance arises due to excessive consumption of phosphorus or due to deficiency of vitamin B. First, we need to balance the calcium and phosphorus ratio 1:1 or about 1:1.4, and feed the animal with the legume hay rather than the cereal. Limestone at a rate of 30 gram may be given to increase the calcium level in the body, or vitamin D may be required, and oral calcium in case of serious problem may be given, or even the intravenous calcium may be given to increase the calcium level in the blood suddenly. Even excessive calcium may be deposited in the bone, and bone which has been converted into the fibrous tissue may sometimes gets converted into osteoblast, and the bone becomes normalized or normal interaction take place, and the animal may recover. But once the animal the disease progressed severe state, the restoration or recovery from this disease is not possible because of the demineralization of bone take place in this particular. And demineralization is very difficult task in the case of animal or even human being. Even after the supplement of the calcium of vitamin D, the demineralization process do not take place properly, and whatever part in bone has been converted into fibrous tissue is not converted into bone tissue. This is all about the osteodystrophy fibrosis. So I think this is completed. About we have completed 2 digits today, and next class will be on the wildlife. So, if any questions other than those which has been asked, why who has asked the question about the even in the calcium deficiency, why the tachycardia is the manifested? Okay, यही था ना जी?
Yes. Yes, sir.
कौन चंदन पूछ रहा है? कौन पूछ रहा है?
Yes, Chandan, sir.
So actually I do not able to remind the answer. I'll tell you later, okay? Because of non-availability of actual region, I'll tell you later, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
नेक्स्ट क्लास में पूछ लेना आपसे, ठीक है? अभी याद नहीं आ रहा
Okay,
है
sir.
रीजन है कि किस कारण से होता है, एक्चुअल में याद नहीं आ रहा है। नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट क्लास में मैं बताऊंगा। और
ओके
एनी
सर।
क्वेश्चन अभी इसमें? If anybody having any question may ask, or otherwise I am going
सर
to.
इक्लेम्सिया में उसका नाम क्यों पड़ा इक्लेम्सिया? कैल्शियम का जो हाइपोकैल्सीमिया हो रहा है तो इक्लेम्सिया नाम क्यों दिया गया उसमें?
Eclampsia का लिटरल मीनिंग होता है एनिमल विच आर नॉट एबल टू राइज। समझ गए? Eclampsia इसीलिए नाम दिया। और एनिमल विच इज इन एक्सटर्नल रिकमेंड सॉरी लैटरल रिकमेंडेशन इसका कोई इक्लेम्सिया का कोई साइंटिफिक टर्म नहीं है। एक बार एनिमल लैटरल रिकमेंसी में चला गया और दे आर नॉट एबल टू गेट अप प्रॉपर्ली, दैट्स व्हाई नेम हैज बीन गिवन इक्लेम्सिया। और इसका कोई साइंटिफिक रीजन नहीं। समझ लो, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ क्लिनिकल मैनिफेस्टेशन इट हैज बीन नेम्ड। वो
सर इसके ट्रीटमेंट में जब कैल्शियम सप्लीमेंट्स देते हैं तो हार्ट रेट क्यों चेक करते रहते हैं?
हार्ट रेट इसीलिए चेक करते हैं कि एक्सेसिव कैल्शियम लेवल जब ज़्यादा हो जाएगा हाइपर कैल्शियमिक स्टेज में तो सीवियर टैकीकार्डिया होगा और टैकीकार्डिया के चलते एनिमल में डाई। दैट्स व्हाई वी आर रेगुलरली चेकिंग द हार्ट, ओके, to save the animal from the hypercalcemia. तो इसमें भी बताया गया होगा, मिल्क फीवर में भी बताया गया, एटोनर काउ सिंड्रोम जो बताए थे, तो बताए थे कि 2 डोज कैल्शियम का फुल डोज देते हैं। उसके बाद डोज देने के बाद हमको रेगुलर मॉनिटर करना है हार्ट रेट। समझ गए? वो अस्कल्टेशन हार्ट रेट मॉनिटर नहीं करोगे और ज़्यादा डोज हो जाए तो उसके चलते कोलैप्स कर जाए। It is always advisable to auscultate the heart while giving the treatment with calcium. Okay, intravenous calcium therapy. Think you got the answer?
यस सर।
Anyone? So I'm going to conclude the class, and next time we'll meet on another topic.